What is up, homies? Welcome back to another episode of the Heroes Reforged podcast. This is a very exciting episode. It's just me right now, but in a moment, we're going to reveal something so fucking cool, you're going to poop yourself. But before you get your diapers out, we're watching a ton of stuff on the channel. We're watching Jurassic Park. We're watching Mission Impossible. A lot more movies coming this year. Watching a ton of shows. We're in the middle of Andor, The Last of Us. We also finished a show earlier this year that we love so much, Invincible. And we've been talking and we've been trying to figure out how can we make, we need to get a special podcast episode going here. So Hector, what are we doing today?
You poop your pants yet? I'm sitting next to Robert Kirkman. Oh man, this is the best way to start the episode.
It's great.
If you like The Walking Dead, if you like Invincible, if you like now Transformers and G.I. Joe, the new Energon Universe comics are coming your way. You've got Robert Kirkman to thank and all of his amazing comic book collaborators. We've been a fan of Robert's work for many, many years. And listen, we got big Hollywood Bobby K in the house. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. But thank you so much for joining us in person. This is awesome.
Thank you for coming back. Because I know we had you on the channel really when we were still figuring out what the hell we were doing tech-wise and just in our life and with our channel. Yeah. And that was a really fun conversation. And I was so new to the world of Invincible at that point because we were reading it and then watching it. And now I'm like, this is so cool that we get to have you on in person to talk about not just Invincible, but like so much other stuff that you've been involved in. So
like
thank
whatever
you for
want to talk about, we're here.
Oh, well, great. I just saw Augustine write down on the notepad here, therapy bill.
This is,
oh, okay.
How dare you?
Here we go. I think
there is my invoice for my therapy bill for all the trauma you put us through
we'll take it.
for the last 10 years. I mean, that's for you. That's a you owe me, not an I owe you. So
you owe me. Yeah.
The experience was a gift.
You're
welcome.
How dare you?
I'm so in debt, Robert. I'm so in debt. Well, that therapy bills are.
I think we can just jump into the therapy you're talking about, Augustine. Is just like Invincible as a whole, but especially the end of season 3.
Oh, yeah.
Was insane. We did a YouTube reaction series, and I don't know if you or anybody else at Skybound, saw it. I wrote down in my notes here, hang on. I wrote down that one of the most common things that we said out loud while we were watching this season was, first of all, you need to calm the fuck down, Mark. That was something we said a lot out loud. So Mark's going through it. Yeah. And then just the 1-2 punch of one of my favorite characters, Rexplode. Yeah. And how all of that paid off. I've got a ton of questions about that, but also the conquest of everything.
Pour one out for Rex.
Pour one out for Rex.
There you go.
The homie Rex.
I think I just started a fire.
We've got electrical.
Cameras are
Someone
off.
alert the authorities.
But I just I want to kick it off, Robert, just asking about those two things because they're hugely important in the comic book series. How did you feel getting to kind of relive those moments and seeing everything sort of pay off with the buildup and death of Rexplode, then going right into the Invincible War / Conquest? Like, how were you feeling as you're seeing like the scripts coming in, the animatics coming in, you know, as you're working on multiple stuff at the same time?
Yeah. I mean, it was really cool. I think that was the stuff that, I don't know, like a lot of people are like, oh, that's the real like high watermark of the Invincible series. We do all kinds of awesome stuff after. Don't you worry, dinosaurs. Just wait. I feel
Read
like
the sacred text.
That's when Invincible kind of kicks off. That's when Invincible shows its potential. That's when Invincible kind of sets the stage for what is to come and kind of like declares itself like, hey, this is the story you're in, and this is the kind of thing that's going to happen more often. Yeah. And so, yeah, it was really cool to finally get to that stuff. And, I don't know. It's a lot of fun knowing that it was coming, you know, like
did
when
Mantzoukas know before he signed up for this role?
Mantzoukas,
because he's a comic book guy.
Mantzoukas, I believe, Stephen Young has read a lot of the comic. Mantzoukas is the only one that has not only read the full series, but has read the full series multiple times.
Wow.
And he was in some kind of a book club in the pandemic, and they were reading.
That's amazing.
And they were reading Invincible, and he was telling me about it. Like, oh, I'm reading it again, and I'd forgotten about this, and I'd forgotten about this, and I was like, leave me alone.
How'd you get my number?
Yeah, how? I don't know. So, he texts me way too often, middle of the night.
In all seriousness, though, too, you brought this up on the great interview you did with the Invincible podcast. Great guys. Go check out that video.
Please do.
You mentioned, like, Mantzoukas' performance. So he's a comedic guy. He's one of the funniest motherfuckers. Yeah. But the fact that you guys built up the relationship between him and Shrinking Ray who she is an entirely different character in the comic. And you guys made the character a woman character. You sort of built out her great performance too by Gray Griffin.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal. Build up this relationship all to sort of service the idea that like Rex is going to, you know, come to an end and have this very heroic sort of send off. But like Mantzoukas brought it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he was great, and he actually did that performance twice because we always, for big scenes, we'll, do the audio to animate to, and then we will bring the actors back in to punch certain things up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
The best example is like there were Conquest lines of dialogue where Jeffrey Dean Morgan delivered it as if he was, talking to Mark, and then the animation comes back, and we're like, oh yeah, that line is over him throwing Mark, and so we have to like do it to punch it up like that. And so it's fun like getting in there and tweaking things. But Mantzoukas absolutely killed it the first time, so we were able to animate to an absolutely amazing performance. And then we brought him in to punch it up, and he like seeing the animation and like having a full grasp of what was happening. Just
cool.
Absolutely spectacular, and really like above and beyond what you think he's capable of, because you watch everything else he's in and you're like, don't think he could ever do that.
No offense. No offense.
Don't know why we brought him in on this show.
He's a silly goose. He's a silly guy.
Do you listen to Comedy Bang Bang?
He's a wacky dude.
Absolutely the
Rex
silliest.
Splode is not pulling hot dogs out of his pants constantly. That's a reference to the league. If you don't know that, it does sound a little weirder than I anticipated. But he's always going, pocket dog?
And
That's like the greatest joke ever.
And then that great blooper, I think it's Parks and Rec, where there's a cologne called Insert. And
We're
then,
not complimenting him. I'm trying to throw
Down just a
shade.
little bit.
Yes,
Because I think it's a fun in joke if I act like I don't like him. But it really just makes me look like a jerk to people who aren't in on the joke.
We're in on
So
it.
it's
We know,
really
we know.
ill-advised on my part, but for some reason I can't stop doing it.
You're safe here.
I don't know.
It's okay. We do it to each other, so our audience is used to
Mark
it.
says we have a caller named Jason on the line.
Patch him through quickly.
No, you can do bits here, Robert. We're just full of bits.
great.
But
Yeah, but
hold
no,
on, real
love
quick.
it. Go.
The first day we shot at the studio.
Him first.
Oh, whoa!
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The first day we shot at the studio, I saw him drive by.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he just drove by. I was crossing the street, and I just kind of waved at him, and he just went, give me a little nod, and that was it. He probably doesn't even remember the interaction, but he
good
just
luck
went,
charm.
He was driving this cool,
He leaned out of the
like
car.
vintage car.
He leaned out of the car and he goes, "My entire goddamn skeleton." That's what he said.
That's what he said,
I
yeah.
did not say that.
I met Mantzoukas years ago because Brian Bachrath at AMC was friends with Bobby Moynihan at SNL.
Amazing.
And so Bachrath took me and Scott Gimple and some other people to SNL. And if you go to SNL and you get to like hang out backstage and watch the show, a lot of times you watch it from the writer's room.
Sure. Cool.
And there's like a big window where you can kind of see down to the stage. And so they just like shuffle people there, and you're just like standing in this room with a bunch of people you don't know, and it's super awkward. And I was not having a great time because I'm not that good socially.
Okay.
And so I'm just doing this.
What?
And then Mantzoukas was in the corner leaning against like a filing cabinet the entire time. And I guess he didn't know anybody either. And so I always like knew him as like this like dour.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
And then I start seeing him in the league and all this other stuff. And I'm like, is that guy from the writers room?
SNL, writers
Yeah.
room.
And
Filing
we
cabinet.
talked a little bit that day. But then I think because this is all happening when I'm at New York Comic Con. So then the following year I'm flying to New York Comic Con, and Mantzoukas comes onto the plane, and I was just like, does he remember me?
Yeah.
Do I wave? And I do this
I know
thing
him?
where like I never think anyone is going to remember me, and I have snubbed the most insane people you can think
you
of.
haven't.
Yeah.
I think, because I'm like, there's
Pope
no
Francis?
way. There's no way
Queen
they
of
would
England?
remember me. I was like, there's no way they would remember me. There was anyway. I'm not gonna tell a story. Anyway, so he comes on the plane, and I was like, and he just gives me one of these.
Oh,
You
great.
know? And I was
okay.
like, Jason Mantzoukas was pretty cool. But
Okay.
yeah, we've known each other for a long time, but met under bizarre circumstances.
He crushed it, and we didn't even get to Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Conquest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here's my next question.
Go for it.
How dare you add that line to give Conquest more context that everybody's afraid of him?
The depth.
Oh, yeah.
The
Dude.
depth. Yes.
Dude, what
Yes.
the? As if I didn't need more reason to like love and hate this guy at the same time. That was I did not expect, because I'm reading the comic book
Yes.
on the channel as we're filming our reaction, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, this isn't ending. What's going on? And then like the line hits, and I'm just like, Kirkman, dude, what are you doing to me? You're wrecking me.
You
That's
said-
why I'm giving you another bill right now.
I can't wait to throw it at you.
You've also said before, I think also on the Invincible podcast, that like part of that came from once you guys had cast Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
And you knew that it was going to be him as an actor, his performance as Conquest, that you started like when you're expanding little moments of the story that you went, oh, this is something he would crush. Is that accurate? That you were like, this is specifically the Jeffrey Dean Morgan version of Conquest. And I think it's going to really land.
I mean, the
'Cause
way
it's
he was able to
fucked
bring
up.
so much humanity to Negan, I knew that he would be able to do the same with Conquest.
Yep.
And every time I go to write an episode of Invincible, myself, because we work with a writing team, and then there's, certain episodes that I'm like, no, this one's mine.
Yep.
Let me ask.
I call the good ones. But anyway, I always sit down with the comic and I read it over. And while I'm reading it, I'm like, ooh, could add this here. Ooh, could add this here. Like, this might be cool here.
Because that was part of my question too, was like, are these sort of expansion, these little moments that are adding to the story, are they things from old Word documents you have from 20 years ago that you're writing Invincible? Or are they sort of coming to you fresh in a sort of visiting of the
Textualized.
material? Yeah. You don't have like an unused Invincible ideas.
But, so what's funny is like every now and then I'll be in an interview and I'll be like, and when you were talking, I was like, oh yeah, there's a good example of that. I will talk about this thing from season 4.
Great.
Can't.
You can't. Okay, we'll have you back. We'll have you back.
Sometimes I forget where I am. And
For sure.
what's
We'll
We'll just neuralize you every time you say
And
something.
I know it's
Real
difficult.
problem.
I know it's difficult not to. If we talk about the Invincible comic and what might be coming down the line,
Yeah.
that may or may not be in season 4. I don't want to
Sure.
spoil season 4, and then you're going to get mixed up with your like because you're working on multiple seasons at the same time. I get it.
It's
tough.
such a weird thing
Yes.
too, because
Yeah.
like it's all out there. If
Yeah.
you're really enjoying the Invincible show and you don't want to be spoiled,
Yeah.
just stay off the internet for the next 8 years. Yep. I mean, it won't take us that long.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
it's all out there and it's kind of weird. But no, I don't know. There's not a lot of stuff from the comics that didn't make it into the comics that I'm putting into the show. It's really just I never did a second draft.
You're right. That's it.
Most of the time we were behind the deadlines, and I was like,
Yeah.
Ryan he'll draw the
He'll
cool
knock it
pages
out.
and
Yeah.
he'll fix whatever I messed up, and so I'm banging scripts out, sending them and stuff. Which is the fun part of comics is the like I'm trying not to say the word haphazard, but like
it's fast.
It's the fun like freedom of it all. Of
Yeah.
like
Sure.
I'm lobbing balls up to the artist and they're hitting home runs and.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, but then to have hindsight and to hopefully
And you
have
have a
learned
writer's-
something in the
you have a
last like
writer's
10
room
years.
as
And
well.
the room. Yeah, the
Yeah.
room comes up with all kinds of great stuff.
I want to
Yeah.
shout out
So,
one moment that wrecked us too, which was in season 3, the opening silent sequence between Tether Tyrant
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh, dude.
Maniac wrecked. And you talked briefly too, where you're like, somebody brought that up, pitched it in the writer's room, and everyone was sort of adding to like, because we needed a little bit more
I'm
context.
bad at remembering like
It's okay.
the accomplishments of people who aren't me. And but I'm pretty sure Jay Ferber, who wrote
right.
that episode,
That's right.
came up with that. And then
Yeah.
everybody,
Noble Causes.
Helen Lay and Simon Rasiopa and Ross Strachey, like all hopped in and were beefing that up. And yeah, it was really a amazing sequence that came out of the room.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
We may have asked this question in the last interview, but I would still like to know, how do you decide where to move things around? Because obviously the comic book is the comic book and all those events are laid out completely. You're not doing a total one-to-one adaptation. How do you decide when to move something up, when to hold something back? Because you're also thinking in the mindset of like, how is a brand new person who never has read Invincible going to experience this for the first time?
Because you've talked about this before, where back in the day when you were doing the comic, you got to the Omni-Man stuff sooner. Because you were like, we didn't know how many issues we were going to have. So like you got it within 9 or 12 issues. You're like, this is the twist.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen till end of season 1. You're kind of moving some things around. How do you guys figure that
in
out?
contrast, like that first episode of the entire show,
Yeah.
the ending of that first
Yeah.
episode, we were like, this is happening now?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, it's a crowded media landscape, and everybody's competing with TikTok and YouTube, and there's plenty of great shows out there for people to watch. So I knew, when we started that pilot, that if I didn't end that first episode with something that was going to hook people were not going to be coming back. And that episode, it was very risky because I purposefully made the bulk of that episode feel kind of like a kid's show and introduce a cool superhero world, but there wasn't really anything that was like, super mature or edgy or anything about it. Cause I made sure there wasn't any real profanity or anything like that. Cause I wanted people to be like, am I watching a kid's show? What's going on? So that when that thing happens at the end, you get that moment of like, wait, what? Like, I'm not supposed to be seeing this now. This does not compute,
Yeah. I think that's what was so fun for us, well, especially for me. I'm watching, I'm going like, all right, this is like pretty light. Like this is very accessible. You get to the end and you're literally like, holy shit! What?
When Red rushes,
glasses always go like this.
Gets crushed. Like
God.
Yeah, because Augustine on that.
I love the glasses tricks.
We've been at this for a while.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a minute.
It works for Robert Kirkman. It works for babies. It works.
It's great.
But no, Augustine and I were the guys that have known the comics for years. So it was so fun to bring in that friend and to experience it for the first time. And then we were reading the book then. But yeah, that
I have another question about the end of that episode. Was it your idea to do that Hollywood? Was it the Rose Bowl did a special screening of that last episode?
Oh, the finale, the Conquest?
No, of the first episode.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So there was an event. You could drive your car in. It was deep in the pandemic. When the final murder scene happens,
every car started
sprayed
honking.
red water out into the car. Was that your idea?
No, not my idea. Okay. No, that's a whole marketing team.
Okay.
I didn't even know that part.
Yeah, it was really cool. Oh, it was super cool because it was
put your pen down. Put your pen down.
Yeah, it was kind of like the premiere event during the pandemic.
Yes.
So they actually set up a big burger mart, and there was a drive-through burger mart.
I still have all the burger mart stuff.
Meals.
I still have Art's little sewing kit. There's a little sewing kit that they gave out. I have a picture where Mark is like holding my car up because you drive through like a little area, and then Mark's like holding your car up. So really rad event, but how dare you?
That event haunts me to this day. And here's why. So they tell us about it, and I'm like, this is going to be the coolest thing ever. I'm so excited to see this. We're going to spray blood on the cars. It's going to be, it was water that they were shooting red light through.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it's not going to stain the cars or anything, but when it shoots up, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And so excited. And then we're going to it, and Corey Walker, co-creator of Invincible, lives nearby. And so I'm like, oh, you just ride with us. And then my wife and my kids wanted to come too. And so
you didn't tell them.
No.
Well, no. So, but it's a drive-in event. And so we drive, and my wife is crammed in the back seat with my kids. And then Corey's and I didn't
to get out of the car.
And I didn't realize we were going to be in the car for like 2.5 hours.
The whole time.
So we're like 10 minutes in, and they're like eating and elbowing, and my car was not very big. And everyone's packed in, and they're just and the kids are starting to kind of grumble, not fight. They're good kids, but they're and I'm just like, everyone's uncomfortable. I don't know what to do. Why have I done this? Oh my God.
I should have rented an H3 Hummer.
So I pulled one of the, I think we were like 10 minutes into the episode, and I pulled one of the Amazon publicity people. I was like, hey, can I leave? And they're like, yeah, sure, if you have to. But it was like rows of cars, and I was in like one of the front 3 rows. So I'm horrified to this day that people at that event were like,
he didn't like his own
show. There goes Robert Kirkman. He doesn't like this show at all. And it's just because I was in a car of unhappy people, and they couldn't see the screen from the back seat. So like, I came so the kids could watch it and stuff, and it was like they're like looking around the seat and the windshield. And I was like, oh, this is all bad. This is all bad. I'm going to talk about this for the rest of the episode. So then
takes me back to my driving days when I was a kid. And my mom and dad would like.
It was a great event.
I'm
sad you guys didn't go.
I know.
It was such a cool event.
You didn't, but
I knew I would be uncomfortable in my car.
Let's move on. Purposefully disinvited you guys. You don't remember this?
You said just Augustine.
These 2 idiots, get off the list.
Not Adam, not Hector. Question for you, Robert. Do you think Ben Schwartz playing Shapesmith helps or hurts his chances at being Plastic Man in the DCU?
And can we blame you?
Or thank you.
Gosh. I think, I don't know. I mean, that's a toss-up.
Okay, great.
That's a toss-up. Could help, could hurt. I don't know.
It's a nice audition tape, I would say.
I think they're different characters. I think Plastic Man is a little bit more serious.
Yeah, a little less
if you can believe that.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think if anything, I think I'm just going to say it helps.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
It does
Damn
help.
it! I'm gonna definitively say that I have assisted Ben Schwartz's career, and when you're watching Sonic
Single-handedly.
6, it's because of me. It's because of me.
Watching Sonic 6.
As a physical media collector, I would love to know, do you collect any physical media? And will I be able to put the Invincible animated series on my shelf when the
As a
series
Blu-ray.
ends?
Yeah.
As a Blu-ray set.
Or is this a question for Jeff Bezos and Amazon?
Yeah.
If anyone can call Jeff,
Yeah, I think so.
that would be
Who
a
do I
question for
gotta
him.
call?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I will say it has been brought up.
Cool.
It has been brought up by me.
Okay, thank you.
There's nothing in the works.
Okay. Well, keep bringing it up.
But yeah, I would love for that to happen. I do, you notice things aren't on streaming sometimes. And so
Yeah,
I'll run to
absolutely.
eBay and buy an old DVD
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah,
And I've been buying some HD DVDs, and apparently the picture is a little bit better than streaming. So that's
HD
nice.
DVDs, like the old, like
Yeah.
No, 4K. 4K.
Okay,
All right,
cool.
4K.
I was like, you're buying something that's not in production anymore.
I sound like an idiot. I apologize.
I don't like Blu-rays.
No, no.
HD
I've been
DVDs.
saying HD instead of 4K, but
Yes.
no, I've been getting
Yeah.
the 4K.
Yeah,
So,
like
yeah.
I'm hopeful only because I know that they're putting out Fallout on Blu-ray, so I'm like, all right, cool. Like
Yeah.
maybe there's a chance that it'll get it because, like,
And-
I like
They're
to
putting
watch
Fallout
off the
on
disc.
Blu-ray?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
4K
Hey, man.
and Steelbook.
Coming
Yeah.
out
Just tell
Blu-ray.
Amazon, do you want another Walter Goggins show on Blu-ray?
Let's do it. Come on.
Let's do it. Let's do
no,
it.
but in that same conversation, thank you and everybody else at the team who were able to do the art books.
Oh, yeah.
That
so
shit's
good.
awesome. The John Paisano score,
Oh, yeah.
release,
Yeah, that's really cool.
really, really cool. So we just want to send you and Jeff Bezos more of our money. So that'd be
Well,
cool.
We're the type of people that we like to read comics with the soundtrack of whatever we're reading.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
reading,
Hell yeah.
rereading, or reading Invincible stuff and listening to the soundtrack, and now having those actors' voices in our head.
Yes.
It's like
that's awesome.
It's a full
Yeah.
theatrical experience reading the comics.
It's a really good one.
yeah.
We have to mention this because we are fans of the comic, and I know Invincible comic fans around the world freaked out when we saw Wolfman.
Oh my
Best
god.
tiger.
Oh my
Tech
god.
jacket. Brit.
God, it was.
Jonathan Banks is Brit. If you saw our videos, like we freaked the hell out.
Yeah.
And I know you've talked about kind of how the process was. Where like Todd McFarlane, these guys. So like yes, there were conversations about maybe Spawn and maybe some of these other characters, but like legally and logistically, it's very, very difficult to get all that stuff. And you guys were moving. It was easier to bring in all these other Invincible Universe
Right,
characters.
right,
but
right.
tell us how you felt.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, you just wanted to use your character."
No.
And it's like, no. I can.
I gotta
do
make my
things-
life easy.
Yeah, it's like I can do things that are like financially unwise
Yeah.
in a way that other people,
Yes.
They are my
wouldn't want
children.
to because yeah.
They do whatever I say.
But what was it like for you to see like the fan response and even just to kind of see those moments come together to hear like Jonathan Banks as Brit? Like we've got a soft spot for all those side characters and, Wolfman, all those central characters that we love in their own little comic series. But like, tell us about the sort of like response to all that.
I mean, it's really cool. I think that, having the latitude to do that was really nice because there were discussions of like, how do we do certain scenes if these characters aren't available?
Right,
There's
right.
obviously a larger Wolfman story that's in the Invincible comics that we weren't adapting just because, it's not like there was a Wolfman show, so it wouldn't have made, a lot of sense to have like a whole episode where Invincible has this side adventure, but to have Brit be a regular, like character, like actually, giving dialogue and stuff, was pretty awesome. And I think, it's one of the things I did on purpose is like, we could have put those characters in the opening fight scene with Doc Seismic and all the heroes in the bubbles and stuff. But I purposely didn't want to do that because I wanted people to watch that episode and go, "Oh, we're not getting anything.
That's exactly what I saw.
Not going to happen."
Write another
We were like, holy shit.
Okay. All right.
It's all just some level of trolling. But I
it's
thought
great.
it would
It
feel
works
more
so
special
well.
if when you're watching The Invincible where you're like, "Oh no, they are here."
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
I'm just gonna start stacking the therapy bills today.
No, but it makes it.
There's
well,
like
especially
3 that I gotta.
And I have to
that gotta
admit,
make
I
up
still have
for.
not finished Invincible because I don't want to know the story,
The comic book.
the comic book.
Yes.
I don't want to know the ending yet. I want to experience it and then read it as we're going. So now we're still at a place where I know a lot of stuff. So once we get to a place where I'm like, it doesn't look familiar to me anymore, I'm gonna start reading. But I think that's what's so fun is for people who are tapped in and they know the story. There's that little extra thing for them because I know for some people in our audience, they're also like may not be familiar, and for them, they're like, what is this? I need to know. So they're like, I'm buying the comics and I'm reading them. I'm like,
to see us freak out about Wolfman and Brit.
Tech Jacket and Brit. Yeah.
I hope some people actually tuned in and got those comics because I really love specifically Tech Jacket. I'm a huge Tech Jacket
I've seen the
guy.
sales figures. Some people did.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's good because we always tell people, like, if you're impatient, you don't want to wait, the story's there.
Yeah.
You have every possible way of reading it, so go do it.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Every way.
They're available in comic book store near you.
Yeah, exactly.
Many formats.
I always tell people though, just because I know that, like, you know, some people might be strapped for cash, I tell them go to the public library.
Just pirate it.
Hoopla.
Don't find. Somewhere
Well,
tell
now
nobody.
we're gonna get sued. So this is a bill for us getting sued. No, by YouTube or somebody.
Somewhere Jeff Bezos is going, no!
Roberto, how dare you?
Roberto, ¿por qué? Okay, so I think to kind of wind down some of the Invincible season 3 finale talk.
Not condoning piracy.
No, I know.
It's a bit.
It's a bit.
It's okay.
You've talked about this before. This is a great detail. This was brought up to me by our pal, John Piercello, who's got a great, Johnny Two Cellos, who's got a great cartoon YouTube channel. Go check it out. But I hit him up yesterday. I'm like, I'm interviewing Hollywood Bobby Kirks. And he goes, here's a question. Sorry, no, not great. But you know this. In the teaser for season 2, we saw a young Eve sitting in that diner behind Mark.
Oh, this question again?
Right.
All right, keep going.
Yes, to sort of tease like, and then we ended up getting a young Adam Eve special. And in the teaser for season 3, debatably, we saw young Rex explode, but that could also be Rudy, but it's young Rex, but it's Rudy. So you've talked about this before, but the question is, I know you guys are cranking away at these seasons. You're very, very busy. The Adam Eve special was sort of in between some of the season's development and production, but with the future going forward, have you talked about a Rex explode special? And now, with you and Ryan coming back for the Battle Beast comic, and I read the first issue of this Battle Beast comic, and it is very good. Has that been considered like this might make for a great future special for the animated universe?
I will say that the Battle Beast comic is so long, it would have to be more than one special.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because there's a lot. It's a regular series. We're not just doing a mini series or anything.
Oh my goodness.
Correct.
A lot of
I'm
people
trying to keep Michael
seem to-
Dorn employed, is what I'm saying. I'm trying to keep Dorn employed.
Michael Dorn is the best. He's the best. The best. I don't know. Did you notice in the first issue what Battle Beast planet's name is?
I was going to bring it up. Can we talk about it? You want to spoil that?
But I don't want Michael Dorn suing me, but
No.
it was in honor of him.
In the first issue of Battle Beast, it's revealed that the character is from the planet Dorn.
It's got two N's.
Dornn.
That's amazing.
And I was like, Robert,
you did it. You son of a bitch.
Sneaky son of a bitch.
So,
That's it.
I don't know if anyone has noticed this from reading my work, but I always try to avoid naming things unless I have to.
Yeah.
It's because I'm lazy. But it does afford me these opportunities of, hey, wait a minute, I haven't named this yet. Now I can do something cool. I was very excited about that. But anyway, specials.
Yes.
We would love to do more specials. There's definitely been a lot of talk about doing a Rexplode special. We just haven't been able to find the time to make it work. It would be the kind of thing that we'd have to pull part of the team off to do, and it would derail what we're trying to do with the season. So it's something that I would love for us to be able to do at some point. There's obviously a story there, and I think it would be additive to the series and would be really cool, but it's just something that we haven't been able to pull together just yet. Although we did purposefully put Rex in that teaser so that people would tell us how much they want one. So hopefully it'll drive us to actually get around to doing it. But I
feel like Lloyd Christmas and Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance?
there is a chance, but
Wait.
Just gonna keep answering this question.
I know.
Yeah.
I had to bring it up, and here's another question: have you guys seen everybody working on the show? Have you seen those TikToks and those viral videos where people are doing Machine Head? I know where your family lives, and they're like mouthing along to the auto tune of Machine Head.
I've seen some of that stuff, yeah, for sure.
Is that affecting your guys' writing going forward, where you're trying to find the funniest lines for Machine
sound
Head?
great in auto tune?
No, I mean we made a decision early on because I think somebody at Amazon was like, "Hey, keep it up with those memes."
Yeah, and you
know, those are in. It's just like,
Okay.
I don't know.
Show over here. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
it's like we're just doing what we do, and like maybe they'll turn them into memes. And I feel like we failed the meme challenge on season 2, but I feel like we got more memes going for season 3, so I feel better about that.
Good.
But I'm also not in the meme game, so I have no idea. Maybe there's no memes from season 2 or 3.
You strike me as a meme guy.
No,
you're not a meme
definitely
guy.
not.
Really?
No, I don't.
He's a bits guy.
You're a bits
Yeah.
guy.
Not memes, bits, old school bits,
okay,
and
okay.
physical comedy. Physical comedy. Prop comedy, Gallagher, watermelon. Okay, last question about Invincible. It's
Maybe last question.
maybe last question.
I won't hold you to it.
Okay, so we can talk about some Energon Universe stuff, but a little bit of a serious question. I want to see how you can tackle
God.
this one.
Oh, yeah.
In the conversation, Robert, about it's been going on for a while now about the sort of like live action adaptation of an animated project. How do you think an eventual live action Invincible movie versus the show will sort of be discussed by the fans? How do you feel like that's going to contribute?
How do I feel like it will eventually be discussed by the fans?
Yeah.
Buddy, I got no clue. Hopefully they'll like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it happens.
Let me try to be a little bit more blunt. I feel like I was trying to find a nice kind of diplomatic way to say.
Oh yeah, don't be diplomatic.
Okay.
Just do it.
Do you feel like there's pressure from fans? I mean, we may have said it ourselves, where we're so in love with the animated show that it's difficult for us to envision sort of what a live action version of this story could kind of bring to the table. Does that make sense?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about that sort of pressure, or you know, when and if we'll eventually get the live action movie, or are you just kind of not concerned about that because you're like, we're doing the show right now, and when we get to that, we'll get to that?
I would say the animated series is a ongoing concern and is the focus because it is in production. Yeah. And there's nothing that's going to happen that is going to pull focus from the animated series or in any way detract from the animated series. So there's that. I love the challenge. You know, I agree with you with the existence of the animated series, the live action movie, were it to ever happen, you know, has to bring something new to the table, has to bring something innovative, exciting, different, something visual, something narrative. You know, it's got a high bar to achieve and, or to cross or to, I don't know, what do you do with a high bar?
Jump really well.
You got to process the high bar. I have no idea. I don't talk a lot anymore. I'm usually in my house by myself. Yeah. I used to do this kind of stuff frequently.
That's true.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
You're a good writer, no talkie, but good writer.
Just
talkie hard.
The words, they fail me sometimes. But anyway, I think that, you know, this is something that we're all aware of and, you know, hopefully we'll pull it off, but yeah, it definitely has to bring something new to the table. We're aware of that. It's going to have to excite people the way that the TV show excited people.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it almost every episode, and we're like, how are they going to do it? It's so good because I think the animated series, it just gives you the depth because you spend so much time with the characters and the story and the world,
and it's getting better and better and better.
And it's, at a certain point, either we said it out loud or we said it to each other off camera. We were like, maybe just make the last 4 episodes of the whole series into a movie and put it in a theater because I don't know, man, this is so good.
It really is. You know, I really, really appreciate you taking on that question and answering it and really being sincere.
It's a hard question to answer when you're like not focused on it.
And the other thing is, it really is just a way for us to compliment everybody working on the animated show. That it's so good. All the writers, the producers, the storyboard artists, the animators, the voice, like everybody at every level. It's just, it's blowing our mind to where like we don't have the imagination, Robert, of what the film will eventually do, but we're open to having our minds blown. So,
but I will say that, you know, there's the Disney Plus Spider-Man cartoon, there's the Spider-Verse movies, and there's the Tom Holland movies.
Totally right.
In a world where all of those coexist, I think that there is room for more Invincible in more forms. So, you know, we'll see. We should make sure that it's all unique and providing its own experience the same way those are.
Quick question for me now. I'm a big animation guy. How, now that you've gone from comic books into animation, how are you feeling about the animation industry? Do you like it? Do you want to continue in it? Is it something that you like really want to move your projects into? Or is it like, okay, I'm doing animation for a little bit, then I'll maybe do live action or back to comics?
I mean, at some point I'll probably do something else in live action, but I don't know. I don't really compare animation to comics. It's more like animation compared to live action, like my experience on the Walking Dead show. And I like, because of the way that the voices are done in animation, I'm able to be present like for, you know, 90 8% of the acting sessions. And
Right.
so,
Versus like filming on location.
I
in
can't be on set
Georgia.
every single
Sure,
day.
sure, sure.
Yeah.
So that's really great because it's literally in the middle of the day. I'm like, I got to pop on Zoom for 2 hours and got to hang out with Walton Goggins and Seth Rogen, Gillian Jacobs. It's this, J.K. Simmons.
You better do this right. You better get it right. Mantzoukas.
No, it's more like sitting there and watching them like spin gold out of scripts where you're like,
My baby's
oh my God,
alive.
I never expected this to. This is hitting.
But then the
so much
paddles in
better.
the background of the Zoom thing.
I mean, God,
Only for Mantzoukas.
Okay,
That guy tries to ad lib a little too often.
A little too much.
But, yeah. We get that you're funny.
Yeah.
Just read the script at least once.
Read the lines.
We've been here for 6 hours, guys.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But and there's a lot of aspects of animation that are more like comics. Comics are working directly with an artist to tell a story and, achieve a goal. And animation is very much the same thing. It's a team of artists. I'm, working with character designers and storyboard artists, and the directors are artists that are helping the storyboard artists like craft scenes. And it's a really fun, it's much different than live action, and I really do enjoy it. So I'm hoping to do more things in animation.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Another question that we had from our pal John Pericello is he was like, about this exact conversation, he asked, wanted me to pass along this question to you. Would you ever consider doing something animated in the Walking Dead world? Because, The Walking Dead originated as a black and white comic. Now we've got the color version, but to maybe do something in like...
The video game's fun.
The video game is phenomenal, but to do something in almost like a monochromatic, like black and white style might be really, really cool. But has that ever come up?
I would do that in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, currently, that is up to AMC.
There you go.
Ooh.
AMC, let's make it happen.
Let's get Jeff Bezos on the line with AMC and see if we can
We'll
work
figure it
out
out
there.
Do you guys want to talk about some Energon comics?
Yeah, because otherwise I'm gonna be here for 3 hours asking about Invincible.
I know. We'll circle back. I want to talk about your new books, Blood and Thunder and Battle Beast, here at the end. We're going to get to that stuff. Really fantastic first issues. No rush. So, Energon Universe.
Yes.
This is so cool.
Awesome. This is so cool. I've got in front of me the beginning of the Energon Universe. In case people are watching this and they don't know. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Robert. You wrote that.
There's this book.
In case people don't know, this is the new, in collaboration with Hasbro, the new sort of shared universe between Transformers, G.I. Joe, and more.
Yes.
And you guys at Skybound, you got this license a little while ago. And even before you got it, in the process of maybe getting it, you had the idea of, I'd love to do a comic book that's neither Transformers or G.I. Joe, but sneak in a Transformer character in there randomly. And you didn't even have the story formulated. You just knew that moment was going to pop.
Yeah.
And that's what Void Rivals is.
Yes.
Can you tell us about what it's been like to kind of write this series? Talk to us about your collaborators. I love this. This is great sci-fi, classic sci-fi. Between these two characters, I want to make sure I get the pronunciation correct.
Durak and Solila?
Durak. I was like, what part of the syllable do we emphasize? Durak and Solila are from warring civilizations that hate one another.
Yeah, the Agorians and the Zertonians.
Good names.
So
That good sci-fi
They,
shit.
they live on this thing called the Sacred Ring, that is this giant ring that's around a black hole.
Okay.
That
Okay.
artwork was
The
great.
Agorians occupy one half and the Zertonians occupy the other. We were trying to backwards engineer something that felt like a toy line in the 80s.
Oh, interesting.
So I feel like, two civilizations living on the edge of a black hole,
Yes.
like fighting each other all the time. Like, that,
Little
that
Robert
felt
Kirkman
like,
would love this.
Yeah. It's like I could see those toys on a toy shelf in 1989 or whatever.
Totally.
So that was kind of the goal, to create something that could coexist with Transformers and G.I. Joe and kind of seamlessly like inhabit those worlds.
And that first issue was a stealth. In case people don't know, like the context of when this first issue, Void Rivals #1 came out, nobody knew it was connected to anything.
Nobody knew that we even had the rights to do Transformers and G.I. Joe.
So you just came out.
So it was marketed as, hey, Lorenzo De Felici and Robert Kirkman are doing this new creator-owned series, Void Rivals. It's science fiction, blah, blah, blah. But then shortly before it came out, we were able to do a massive Zoom call with hundreds of retailers. I'm going to say thousands of retailers and
millions.
And just tell them, hey, just want to let you know, this is what we're doing. Transformers shows up on page 16. Show them the page. It's going to tie into a big Transformers launch. It's going to be ad for Transformers in the back. Blah blah blah. Because you never want to have your retail partners like
be
caught off
unaware.
guard.
Caught off
Yeah.
guard.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they knew going into it, which was super cool. They were able to tell their customers, hey, you might want to try this book. We won't tell you, just trust us.
Little surprise.
But yeah, because I thought, like, people have been doing great Transformers and G.I. Joe comics for 20, 30, 40 years, if you go all the way back to the Marvel days.
Yeah.
And, you know, we wanted to try and figure out a way to put a fresh coat of paint on things to kind of make it seem like new and exciting and fresh and different. And to me, it was just like, if I bought a new Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips comic, and I got to page 12, and there was a Transformer on that page, I would lose my mind. And just, you know, I try to do things that would excite me as a fan, you know? And so,
and then you go deep into some Transformers lore that I'm a Transformers fan, but I don't think to the level of
Hasbro's like, who's Skuxoid?
And you're like, wait,
let me tell you.
Let me cook.
There's some really, really rad stuff in there. But my question was just sort of like, you know, when this was coming out and with the success of this launch, the Transformer in question is Jetfire.
Yes.
These two characters are stranded on this little planetoid, and they have to figure out how to escape, and otherwise they're going to die. And there's some wreckage, and they're like, maybe we can reverse engineer. And it just like, they touch it. Yeah.
You're like, what?
It was phenomenal. But like, how's it been now? It's been a few years since that book has been out to see this sort of fan response. Do you remember what it was like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, I'm as much a fan of Transformers and G.I. Joe as any fan of Transformers and G.I. Joe. Like, I love this stuff. I buy old toys. My house looks ridiculous. You know, I have statues of Optimus Prime in my office.
And now you guys are getting
you know where you're
toys.
sitting?
And now you guys,
no, this is all very familiar. Only you can't find any of my stuff in my office.
And Hasbro's now making.
I've got an AFA Defiant sitting in my.
Really?
Oh yeah, I go. Oh yeah.
After this, we got to talk about your favorite We'll talk about favorite franchises in a little bit.
Great question.
Please do.
For this year's San Diego Comic-Con, Hasbro is doing a Void Rivals 2-pack with Jetfire.
Yes.
With these two characters.
Insane. No, I mean, the hope of doing, like, you're doing this stuff and you're like, will they ever make toys of this stuff? Because I think the thing that excites people on the page is cool visuals, unique visuals. Yeah. And if it excites you on the page, then, you know, it's toys. You're creating like cool images that hopefully can become, you know, exciting toys. And so, like, our goal every time we write an issue of, you know, Void Rivals, Transformers, G.I. Joe is like, can we add to the mythos? Can we do some, you know, Optimus Prime with a Megatron arm, you know, like, is that going to be an action figure someday? Like, we really hope so. That is a cool, unique addition to the mythos that could result in a unique visual that, you know, becomes a cool toy. So yeah, to actually have Void Rivals toys in existence. And by the way, I don't know if I think they've talked about this. They're 3.5-inch O-ring figures.
Yes.
And they don't really do the G.I. Joe.
It's a little rubber band inside the way the old school 1980s G.I. Joe
I remember
toys.
ripping those all the time.
Yeah. G.I. Joe fans know what the O-ring is.
Yep. Producer Mark's like, maybe.
All of mine were ripped. All of mine were ripped.
Awesome.
Mine too. But then you could like take the screw out of the back and then you could like take a rubber band and like wrap it around like 17 times and then kind of put it back in and
and then rip that one because I put it in too tight.
There, change it again. Or get like a figure you don't like and take the good O-ring out of that figure and put it in the new guy. But then their little crotch would break. And then their legs would kind of fling forward. You'd be like, not the crotch. Not the crotch.
Damn it, I need a new one.
Oh, my peekaboo has a broken crotch now.
That's a G.I. Joe character?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just double checking, just making sure. So we don't get HR called on us. So, Robert, again, the thing I love about this whole thing, we had a question from another one of our pals, Zach.
Our friend Zach was asking, and this kind of ties in with also with like things, how you're remixing Invincible. How do you decide from each of these universes what elements to take that is going to satisfy old fans, will also give something interesting to new fans, and still just kind of honor what these things are at their core?
I think that's the balance, because there's a lot of different continuity. And so we're trying to use the television shows for the Energon Universe as kind of the core continuity. Because, you know, there's the Larry Hama G.I. Joe that's a little different. There's a lot of various different Transformers continuities in different comics. And, you know, there's the UK comics and the Marvel comics and the IDW series and this other IDW series. And so you want to try and, like, you know, unify it, come up with some kind of, you know, thing. But it's important in the Energon Universe that, like, the personality that has become like the core personality of every character is intact. That's something that sometimes different iterations of Transformers, they'll just change the personality of a Transformer or something. And it's like, we're trying not to do that at all. And
Optimus is Optimus, you know, Starscream is Starscream.
If Hound shows up, it's like, okay, we recognize that that's the Hound that has the characterization that's been established in most of the continuity. There's some things that we're pulling out of different, things, but yeah, I mean, it's trying to unify things, but really just like, being respectful of everything that came before, making sure that every character feels like they're supposed to feel, and that there's a reverence that we have for these characters that hopefully shows through in the product. We're not like, we're not just doing this to do it. We're doing this because we want to put these things on a pedestal and
you're a fan.
Yeah. For people that are as big a fan as we are, for them to be like, oh, this is awesome. You guys love this stuff as much as we do. But for people that may not be familiar with it, to put it on this pedestal and be like, look how cool this is. How awesome is this? Don't you love this? Like, that's what we're trying to do to, like appeal to the fans that are already there and also bring new people into the party.
One of my favorite things that you guys are doing, I've already talked to you about this in real life. We saw you at a screening for a movie, and I was like, Energon Universe, I love this moment. And you're like, okay, leave me alone. Get away from me. I was like, okay, bye.
I was nicer than that.
You were nicer.
You put on your... I remember a backhand. I remember a backhand in there somewhere.
You can write him a therapy bill.
Be nice.
Sometimes
it was soft. It was
a
nice.
lovely moisturized hand backhand.
Thank you. But this was, I mean, you can also talk about some of the folks, the really talented people
here's
you
the bill
got.
for the backhand.
Thank you very much. Daniel Warren Johnson, one of our favorites.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lordy.
I mean,
Doing Transformers, and you have from Void Rivals, Jetfire comes out of that story, comes into Transformers, kicks off this storyline by sort of activating these long dormant characters. But a moment I love in this that I wanted to ask you about is before Skybound went full-blown G.I. Joe with like a fully established G.I. Joe team, and this is this and this is that, you guys are like slowly building it out. Right. And the way you do it is there's a moment in here where Starscream, the bastard that he is, kills a fighter jet pilot by like smashing him in midair because it's this normal jet that sees this like bogey in the air, and all of a sudden it goes, it's a great moment. And these two humans are freaking out, and one of them gets killed. His partner sort of like barely manages to escape, shoots a little flare into Starscream's eye, and leaves and escapes with his life. It's revealed that that's Duke.
Yeah.
Then it goes right into the Duke series with Joshua Williamson, Tom Riley working on that. But that moment, talk about when you knew that moment was going to happen in Transformers, and just kind of keep bouncing over into the next miniseries that you guys had planned.
Yeah, I mean, that structure, the Jetfire to Transformers to Duke to, to Starscream and Duke to the Duke series and everything, and doing a Duke series and a Cobra Commander series instead of doing a G.I. Joe series, like that was kind of the roadmap for the universe that Sean Makowitz and I worked out, like as we were trying to figure out like how we're going to manage this license. And
love Sean. Shout
I
out
think
to
that
Sean.
There's, there's certain things that you have to do to make Transformers. And we really wanted to do the arc and the mountain and keep that like iconography and
robots in disguise.
Yeah.
It's all there.
In disguise on Earth, like figuring out how to interact with humans. And we were trying to find a new way into G.I. Joe that, seemed unique, and I thought it'd be cool to kind of start at ground zero and really kind of build ourselves up into G.I. Joe. And so that's why we started with Duke, and then that led to Cobra Commander, which led to Destro, which led to Scarlet. And then eventually we did the G.I. Joe book that Josh and Tom Riley are doing now. And even the G.I. Joe book with Josh and Tom Riley that they're doing now is very much like the early days of the formation of G.I. Joe. They don't have their base, and there's not that many members. It's a small team, and Cobra's still like this new threat that they're still trying to learn about. And it's all like, kind of like year one kind of stuff that, and again, the headline to the Energon Universe, as far as I'm concerned, is like, we're in this for a long time. Like we want to be doing this until we hit issue 50 of these books, issue 100 of these books, issue 150 of these books. Like we really have like far reaching plans for all these series. So, we want to have other things to do when we're getting to our issue 50s, and, we're getting very close to hitting our 25th issues, which is really exciting, a nice 2-year mark. Like that's really fun. But we're going to be doing this for a good long while, and we want to make sure that we have stuff to build to as we go.
We've got
question.
Go ahead.
Do you have like a giant war room in your house somewhere?
Oh,
man. You have everything it's just like a giant, what do they call them, murder boards?
Yeah,
They have a murder board. Do you have like a giant murder board of just every project you're working on in your house?
For G.I. Joe Energon Universe, it's Robert and Sean Makowitz playing with G.I. Joes.
Oh, yeah, they go, and then you go like this.
And then this. And then
the rubber band broke?
Yeah.
I do have to say, like, Sean and I sat down, but Daniel Warren Johnson and Josh Williamson came in very early on and added so much to everything that we were doing, and really like built the backbone of this universe in a really cool way.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out the team, the artist on Cobra Commander. Like you said, it's Joshua Williamson. This also has an amazing Cobra Commander's a fascinating and super evil character. And this thing again loops in when this is called Energon Universe.
Yeah.
You guys mean it. This all ties together to what the Transformers and the Decepticons and all that stuff bring to this.
We were
fictional
actually
world.
struggling for a name for the line.
Really?
And as Josh was developing
really?
Cobra Commander, he was like, I think they could find some Energon in the swamp here. And I was like, oh, Energon's in G.I. Joe now. I can put Energon in Void Rivals. Super easy. This is the Energon universe. And so that's kind of where the name came from. And then someone was like, but this EU, what about the European Union? And I was like, this is America.
This is comics, baby.
Hell yeah, brother. This is the Hollywood Bobby Kirk cinematic universe. So
That's right. We've got Andrea Milana doing the art for Cobra Commander.
He's fantastic.
Phenomenal.
He's coming in and doing the second arc of G.I. Joe while Tom
awesome.
jumps ahead to other issues.
Have to shout out to this team, this book. This knocked me on my ass. This was surprisingly violent and cool. This has got some of the best ninja action.
Oh yeah, Kelly Thompson is great.
Kelly Thompson writing it. We've got Marco Ferrari doing the art. This is also in the Scarlet Book. You guys decided to start looping in the Arashikage clan.
Yes.
Which is the whole ninja side of G.I. Joe.
Yes.
No Snake Eyes yet.
Tease of the ninja side. Tease of the ninja side.
We've got full-blown Storm Shadow in this. We've got, I just want to
Some people may disagree with this. I love the ninja side of G.I. Joe. It's one of the things that makes G.I. Joe.
it's the whole reason why I wanted to be in the
Yes.
G.I. Joes.
And yet, at some points, the G.I. Joe line has leaned a little too heavily
Yes.
on the ninja
On
side.
the
of G.I.
non-ninja
Joe.
side.
You have to
So
keep
that
it
is something
special.
that we are trying not to do. We want to,
That's
keep
a
it
good idea.
special when the ninja element enters into G.I. Joe. It'll be special. It'll be cool. It'll be shocking. It'll come when you least expect it.
This and that kind of goes back into you guys keep building up these characters. Destro gets a book.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to expect with this, but this is like this kind of like Mission Impossible. He's an arms dealer and he's also a real bastard, but there's a real great attempt. A real bastard. A real Scottish bastard, the best kind. But we've got Dan Waters writing the Destro book. We've got Andre Bresson doing the art on this. Andrea Milana also for a few pages. But this is also just a really great way to build out the villain side as things keep kind of ramping up.
I think that G.I. Joe has one of the best rogues galleries out of any story.
100%.
I think
Interesting.
everybody likes these Batman villains.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
Sorry. I'm all about these G.I. Joe villains. So many cool ones.
Mad Hatter, Dr. Mindbender.
Oh my
shit.
Lord.
Absolutely.
Can we, be completely honest?
Yeah.
Dr. Mindbender is substantially cooler than the Mad Hatter.
Very much so. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Yes, when your villain can be screamed with a name like Dr. Mindbender, it's automatically cooler. And then
Hatter?
Barf in my mouth.
all right.
And then James Gunn's about to announce the Mad Hatter movie, and he's like,
It's gonna be awesome.
come on.
Yeah, I think this is the most recent trade paperback at the time of this recording that has come out. We've got Transformers or
3 is
Destro.
on the way. I have it in my house. I could have brought it.
Oh my goodness.
That's okay.
Sorry.
But Daniel-
Combiner Wars. It's awesome.
Oh my God.
Combiner? No, it's not. Combiner. I don't remember what the title is.
I think
it's
you're
Combiner something.
Destructive-
Combiner Carnage? Maybe that's it. I think it's a CC thing. We can edit this, right? Can we edit this out?
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
Yes,
totally.
we can. We can take this
Well,
out.
The laughter here is making me more embarrassed.
We'll do a voiceover.
Don't take this
Do you
out.
want to send us the
Keep it in.
voiceover of
No,
the
it's fine.
correct, and then we'll
It's
dub
fine.
it?
I don't care. I don't
We'll
care.
hire Jason, and then he'll do the voiceover.
I don't care.
But I think you're right. It's Combine or something. I just looked at it too.
It's
I forgot.
Combiner, Scintilla. I don't know. What are we looking at? What are we doing?
Doesn't matter. Robert, last question about Energon Universe.
Got the Constructicons in it.
Yes, that's right.
It's
That's what it is.
that's why it's Combiner.
And Bruticus.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a fight between Bruticus and Devastator. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Massive. It's
Can
massive.
you've also talked about how there's going to be deluxe editions of all of these series.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Have you guys, when you're mapping this stuff out, do you have it mapped out with like a very this is a very nerdy question. Sorry, specific timeline of like, oh, you can go from this issue to this issue, or are you kind of just keeping it like you can read this story arc and then hop over to this and then hop over to that?
Yeah, I think that there's not like a meticulous, well, you have to read Void Rivals 17. And then you have to read Transformers 19. And then you have to read G.I. Joe 7. Because I feel like that would get too tedious.
Yes.
And nobody wants charts. Nobody wants charts.
I love
Hector
charts.
does.
Someone online can map that chronology.
He's going to hire me to make the graphic.
But it's not that. It's not like it's essential to read it that way.
No, it's not the reading order.
If you just like Transformers and you just want to read a Transformers comic, this is all you got to read.
But Void Rivals is awesome.
There's not anything in the other books
Correct.
that are going to make this book confusing if you just read this book.
I see.
If you read the other books, it will be an additive experience. If you want to read Void Rivals, there will be Transformers elements in Void Rivals, but they will all be explained within the context of the Void Rivals series, and you do not have to have read the Transformers comic. There will be Transformers and hopefully eventually Void Rivals elements in G.I. Joe, but that's a standalone G.I. Joe book. And so that's kind of how we're doing things. You can read each individual series. They will completely stand alone. But, if you read Transformers, there's that encounter between Duke and Starscream. Kind of neat. Maybe you want to find out more about that Duke guy.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't. Who knows? Up to you. You get to decide. But if you do read that stuff, an overall tapestry forms. And at some point, these books will cross over in a real substantial way, but it'll be earned and it'll be, something special and, and it'll be done in a very clear and easy to read and easy to collect way. I'm very dedicated to making sure that, there's different formats for Invincible. There's different formats for Walking Dead, but it's all very clear. It's all unified designs. If you just go from volume 1 to volume 2 to volume 3, that's all you have to do. There's none of this like, okay, read volume 3 and then go read this other book and then come back and read volume 4. That stuff drives me crazy. I feel like it's a disservice to our medium as a whole, makes things difficult. Nobody wants to do homework to be able to read any kind of entertainment.
Yeah. Truthfully, sometimes I'm intimidated by comics because of that. Because I feel like I need to go in 8 directions, and I'm like, Hector, help me.
Yeah.
No, I go to bookstores and I cry because I'm like, I look at the manga shelf where it's like, volume 1 through 53, volume 1 through 72, volume 1 through 30, and it's like, it's all uniform and all the books match. And then I go to the graphic novel section and it's like, just chaos. Just absolute chaos.
18
it's
colors,
like
you're
the
like,
entire section is saying, why are you here? What did you think you were going to do? Look at this. Do you really want to be a part of this? So frustrating.
It's wild. Just like the purple lettering on the one volume of Invincible.
I fixed that. Okay. It's only on the first printing.
I'm just kidding.
It haunts me more than you know.
That's amazing.
Totally just
That's
playing,
amazing.
by the way. I almost brought my version just to show it off on this episode.
Rest assured, many people were fired.
Oh, yeah. Rest assured, devastation.
Yelled at,
No.
but not fired.
Devastation on the employee line.
I think we all appreciate that as comic book enthusiasts, and I'll say that if there's space for it in the back of these deluxe editions, throw in some charts. Might help.
Hector will do it for you for free.
I'll whip them up. I honestly will, and that's my problem. I really I should be asking for my value.
This man's
but no.
whole brain is just an index of comic book knowledge.
But no, you're absolutely right.
If
and
the chart is ever necessary, we have failed.
It. There we go.
And I said that on record.
Okay,
There
I
you
like
go.
that. I
That's a
like
great
that.
philosophy.
Okay.
That's good. I'm going to do this chart as soon as I get home. I'm still doing it.
I was gonna go, Adam, I need images.
And then
Marvel does a lot of great stuff, but if you buy a new Marvel like Spider-Man trade, the opening like inside front cover and back cover and the back inside front cover and back cover are like
other books.
context.
No, it's like here's how this fits into the Spider-Man library, and it's like Spider-Man by Dan Slott goes to this, Spider-Man by Donny Cates goes to this volume, Spider-Man by this person goes to this. It's like, I gotta look at this to know what order these things are in. Like, this is a bad system. It's a bad system. It makes it hard.
For
Make
sure.
it easy.
I've had that
Help me
complaint
help
ever
you.
since the 90s. Like, growing up, we were really broke. My mom would take me to the library. There was no way I was going to be able to get comic books in continuity. They were all torn up and ripped. And I was just like, I just want cool pictures and like a cool something that I can latch onto. And so it never really, like, only when I became an adult was I able to kind of connect all these dots. But that's a huge disservice to like young readers, I would say, because you're really trying to like get a kid to be able to pick this up and be really into it, just like probably you were when you were a kid, and then jump into it that way, which I think is totally rad.
This is enough. Just enough of the, hey, if you want it, there's stuff.
Yeah, some more.
These are the books that are around.
These
And
are
then a
around. Not a
6-page
chart.
HECTOR chart.
No pressure. Not a chart. There's no, it's okay. You check it out if you want to check it out.
The QR
No, but
code that has like a 15-page dissertation.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this before, but that really has been a part of, if I can talk about your own career for a second as a writer, Robert,
do.
where like, if you were reading Invincible back in the day as it was coming out issue by issue, the letters pages of that were great. It was Robert and team sort of describing what the point was. And I still remember, because we talked about this for season 3, the Invincible War was the team's effort to be like, we just want to do a big, massive superhero crossover event, this world-shattering event in one issue, versus the 60 issues or whatever it would take to read the complete sort of Civil War, for example, like Marvel Civil War or any of those events or whatever. And I think that a lot of your work has been, even The Walking Dead, was your intention of going, well, I don't want the zombie movie to end.
Yeah.
What if it were to continue indefinitely? What's the story there? I want to know how interesting things get.
Yeah, I mean, most everything I've done is me as a fan going, yeah, but why don't we do it this way?
Right.
Why don't we try it this way?
Right.
Wouldn't it be neat if we did this instead?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
It's awesome.
I haven't had an original thought in my life.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not a single one.
But, only the greatest steal from whatever the quote is. I don't know. But no,
Well,
no.
I feel like it was okay for me to say what I said, but I feel like what
bad.
you're saying is a little harsh and judgmental. But
Wrong.
it's just me.
Okay, here's a
It's just
negative
me.
bill.
Maybe it's because
Negative bill.
it.
So this one takes
Sure.
away from one of the other bills
Yeah.
that we
It's mostly because it hurt
just
me
give him some
deeply.
money.
There we go. There we go. I don't know, cover it right there. There we go.
$4.
What am I going to do with this?
I don't know.
Pay your meter. I don't know.
Buy a comic book.
I just wanted on camera that I paid Robert Kirkman money. I just want to be able to put that on my
you
resume.
offended him.
There you go. There you go.
Let's talk about your upcoming books. We've got, this is very exciting. This was an idea that you've got, and you've got a great team on it. This is a book that's
Yes.
coming out May 7th this year. Tell us about Blood and Thunder.
Blood and Thunder is a sci-fi buddy cop drama
Yeah.
about
Nice.
a bounty hunter and her buddy that is a talking sentient gun.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm in.
And they're
into
hunting
it.
the most dangerous criminal
it.
in the galaxy. So yeah.
Into it.
It's we've got Benito Cerino's the writer on it. Am I saying Benito's name correctly?
I believe you are.
Okay, great. And who worked on Invincible Presents Adam Eve, and then you got EJ Sue, who was from Tech Jacket doing the art.
Love
And
it. Love it.
This originally started as a book that you came up with the title for years ago, which was called Ooh La La Space Police.
That's true. Not the best title.
No.
It's fantastic.
But
What
kinda
are you
cool.
talking about?
No, yeah.
Kind of cool.
Kind of cool, but you got one-upped by Jack Kirby. Because
Yes.
it was Jack Kirby that you said you read or heard in an interview somewhere that Jack Kirby said what?
He said something along the lines of great comics bring the blood and thunder.
Oh,
Is what I recall.
okay.
That's why he's the
Right.
king.
I
That's why
can't
he's the
find
king.
this quote anywhere now. So I have no idea where
sure
this
you didn't
is.
just make
But
it
I
up?
swear I saw it
dreamt it,
somewhere
yeah.
and was like, Jack Kirby's a genius. That sounds super awesome.
sounds like
I
a-
want to do
yeah.
a book called Blood and Thunder.
Nice.
And so I dug out the Ooh La La concept, which, was Ooh La was the first name and La. I thought it would be a fun alien name. And I was like, we'll give her floating a blood cloud for hair.
Yeah,
and her
really
name is
cool.
Blood. And then the gun's name is now Thunder because that's a cool name for a big
it's
Why
a
not?
sci-fi gun.
fantastic name. Yeah.
It also has a little bit of like the Fifth Element vibes to
Yeah.
it, to the world. There's definitely some comedic elements. It's sort of like, like all good sci-fi, kind of poking fun at our
Yeah.
society, all that stuff. Just can you kind of give us a tease? What can we expect in this story coming down the line?
I mean, it's a fugitive type story of thunder and blood hunting down this, criminal. But it's a sprawling sci-fi epic where the journey goes from planet to planet. So we're going to be introducing new alien civilizations almost every issue, and you're going to get EJ Sue designing like insane aliens and crazy locations, and Benito is a really thoughtful writer and is substantially smarter than me, I like to say. And so it's fun to have like a concept out there where, the three of us created it and I had a big part of, the originating it, but I get to read it and be like, oh, I didn't know that was all right, that's cool. Like I feel like I learned things from the book, which is exciting for me. But yeah, it's a sprawling sci-fi epic that traverses a ton of worlds and has some very, very dark and startling moments, as you might expect from something I'm involved with. So yeah.
Really? Yeah. Do you see these bills we got going on there?
So
Stack them up. There's more coming.
what film score would you recommend listening to while reading that book?
Holy crap. I'm not good at this.
I listened to Fifth Element, and it worked really well.
Element's
Okay.
good.
That works pretty good.
I do love the score for Transformers the movie.
Ooh,
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
Some
Okay.
What was it?
There's some good
Jablonski?
stuff in
Steve
there.
Jablonski?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that stuff is great.
What about like
Yeah.
the Daft Punk Tron?
Daft Punk
soundtrack?
Tron is always a good choice.
Right.
I think for a sci-fi thing, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Especially that track that just has Jeff Bridges speaking over it. Like, one day I got in, man. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm in. Cool. That's what all sci-fi music needs is Jeff Bridges like, biodigital jazz, man. Just every time you're listening to something.
And Daft Punk.
And Daft Punk, yeah. So now, I mean, I think we know what we could listen to, John Paisano, if we're going to be reading the next series, the next book here. Battle Beast issue number 1 comes out May 14th.
Yes.
And it's you and Ryan Ottley coming back.
Coming back.
And
Coming back like we never left.
Coming
Killer
back
combo.
like you never like and really you kept working on Invincible as soon as the comic was done, so in a way you never left. But this first issue is a banger. And it is violent as hell, and it's very surprising, and especially for fans of Invincible who know Battle Beast, he's not the most verbose character.
No.
But you found a great way to be like, okay, here's how Battle Beast is going to be speaking throughout this thing.
Yeah,
and
you gotta have some words.
You gotta have some words and learning more. But talk to me about the feeling that you got when you saw the first pieces of Ryan's art coming back. Were you just like, oh yeah, baby, feels good to be back? Like, what was that feeling?
Yeah,
like?
very much. I mean, that was really a big part of it. And it's funny, like you work with a guy for, I don't know, was it 15, 16 years? And then he goes off to do things like Spider-Man.
Yeah, really good. But yeah, and Hulk. Yeah, also really good.
But you read those comics and you're like, my girlfriend doesn't love me anymore. It's true. She's gone on to someone new.
Yep.
She's moved on. She doesn't even call anymore.
I have been left behind.
I'm old news. Why?
And so there's like I mean, the word, it's like kind of a jealousy. Like, Nick Spencer and Donny Cates get to write these stories for Ryan, and he's doing these crazy pages, and it's super cool. I want that back. I've messed up.
Were you calling Ryan like, what if you came back to do this? And Ryan was like, no deal. Until you were like, fine, the bloodiest, goriest one, Battle Beast. And then Ryan was like, okay.
No, I mean, I knew
back.
that he had done Invincible for so long. He was like, I want to kind of stretch my wings and do like a corporate comic, because he had never done that. He started Invincible very early on in his career. So he had to see what it was like on the other side.
That's right.
Of course.
The grass always-
And he did, and he came back. So yeah, I mean, I knew that, that he wanted to do that stuff, and you can't, when an artist wants to draw Spider-Man, you can't compete with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Iconic, one of the best, I like to poke fun at Marvel, but it's because they're the biggest and the best.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's, Ryan had his fun, and now he's back, but like, I couldn't, when those pages started coming in, it was just like, oh my gosh. And even just writing script, knowing that Ryan was going to draw it was a lot of fun, because, Battle Beast is at the center of some of the biggest, most explosive stuff that happens in the Invincible series, the kind of things that are going to happen post season 3. And to come in and, bring that character back and do new stories with him, Ryan and I are very acutely aware of the fact that there's a high bar to do whatever it is you have to do with a high bar. Process, leap, scale, exceed,
demolish, destroy.
Is this a good bit? Should I have brought it back?
Good. Yeah.
Was this ill advised?
Do we need more?
Great
Keep
callback.
going.
Do we need
don't
more
know.
guts in this show? I don't
Can
know.
we waste more time on this?
Yeah.
How long can I keep my hand in this position?
Yeah.
But yeah, and so our goal is to kind of try to exceed like what we have done before with Battle Beast.
Yeah.
And so you see in that first issue, there's some gnawing of flesh.
Yes.
There's some big moments. And that's just our first issue. We're trying to build to some bigger stuff. And so we know that by like opening that door and stepping through it, like we, have to achieve a certain level of spectacle.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're really excited about trying to do.
I gotta say, opening that book, it was really nice, and I didn't realize how much I miss being in the Invincible comic book universe.
Oh, cool.
Because Ryan has not lost his touch with the ferocity.
He's only gotten better.
Like there's a certain energy when he draws Battle Beast, like that insanity that he puts into his eyes is 1,000% still there, which I love, and that's kind of what keeps me like. Battle Beast isn't necessarily a complicated character,
No,
but the fact that you're able to put that kind of energy into like the drawings and just like evil, he's not evil. This ferocity that he puts into his face is just absolutely phenomenal.
It also reminded me a little bit of in the series Savage Dragon by the great Eric Larson.
I mean, the main source of inspiration for the Invincible series. Yes,
one of your favorites. Eric had this character established for like a decade, and then eventually went and did something that revealed something about Savage Dragon's like origin that like completely recontextualized the whole thing. And it reminded me, reading this book where you just learning more about Battle Beast, I was like, oh, this is awesome. What a great choice to go in this direction with this character. Yeah. Like you're saying, a character that we all kind of thought we understood. We're like, we got it. Big cat man.
Big cat man kills everybody. Yeah, totally.
Check. One of our favorites.
Because I like it so much, I'm going to take away some dollar bills from the therapy bill. Okay. That's a little.
Thank you.
That's two right there.
That one is void.
Yeah, is that it? Yeah. So I'm voiding the bills on top of the other bills.
You know you can afford all this, Robert. You know you can.
We don't need to talk about that. Don't make me.
You got at least $4 in your shirt.
Yeah, I know you have $4 on you.
At least $4 American dollars.
It's just important that I leave here with more money than I arrive.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you're on your way, but you still got some.
The rule I have for every environment I enter.
Well, you got some hefty therapy bills going on here. So
I think that we're so stoked.
I'll cancel them out. Don't worry.
Okay. Exactly.
Don't worry. Let's keep going.
We're so happy that Battle Beast is back. You know, I think that we all love the Invincible comic for what it is, and the sort of you've talked about this, the beginning, middle, and end of that story. Yeah. And I know that you and Ryan are very aware of what that is, and you're not necessarily going in. I don't think this is a spoiler for Battle Beast. This is not something that like continues that. This is your understanding of what this is, and you're not necessarily going to mess with it.
I'm going to take over.
Go ahead.
So Battle Beast occupies the space between Invincible 19 and Invincible 55.
There you go.
There's a handy chart in the back of the comic.
That was going to be my question. I was like, I don't know if I should bring this up or not.
I don't want to bring up a timeline or a chart. I know you're adverse to that, but it's
again, you can read Battle Beast completely on its own. You don't have to have read Invincible.
Yes,
it's its own story. You've seen from the first issue. Like you don't know anything about Invincible. Issue totally works.
Yep.
But you read Invincible. Some cool elements there.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
And as the series progresses, we're going to get a little deeper into some Invincible Universe lore. Ooh, some other characters are going to start to show up. You're going to be like, oh, cool. Yeah. But it's a regular series. It's going to go on for, a while. Yep. And it's going to have a beginning, middle, and an end. And it should recontextualize the Battle Beast story from Invincible.
Oh, my goodness, Robert. Oh, my goodness, dude. How dare you?
So if you go back to Invincible and you read again, you'll be like, oh, I know so much more about Battle Beast.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So cool.
Maybe you'll be a little bit more upset.
And this is
so anyway. But my point is, Battle Beast will have its own monumental ending at some point, hopefully, that Ryan and I are able to build to. So knowing that that's on the horizon, will you please read the last issue of Invincible?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, dude, you have to now.
How long are you going to wait? What are you waiting for?
Asking you to
tell me you like the book, but you won't read the last issue.
Real talk?
I can't.
We talk about this trauma every episode that we watch.
It was a couple things. First of all, I needed you and Ryan Ottley to come back and do something. So now I'm like, oh, okay. If I finish the last issue of Invincible,
my parents are home. I feel safe now.
Yes, exactly.
Mom and Dad are home.
I need an adult right here.
I can finish the book. I can take it out of the freezer.
That's number one.
Finish the book.
But number two, and this is weird, but I was realizing it in kind of preparation for like getting to talk to Robert and figuring out all of our questions. It really was like, I just needed Amazon to release the goddamn score from John Paisano, and now I can listen to that while reading the last issue.
All right.
Oh my
so
God.
we're in business, baby.
I like that.
Next time you see me, I will have read it.
You have to record yourself reading the final and reacting to it.
Because here's the other.
It's a decade in the making at this point.
I will do that. Because here's the other weird. You want to talk about how I love charts? Here's the other stupid thing that I do, and the proof is over there.
Well, here goes another hour.
Sorry,
there's so much puke on the ground over there. Hector. You don't even.
Because this is going to go back to Robert and compliment the team on Invincible. Because I have an iPod over there that is proof of this. But I'm the psychopath that downloads like a movie soundtrack, like a Tron or whatever. But if that movie soundtrack official release doesn't include the songs that are in the thing, I also purchase those from iTunes, get them off of there, attach them to my album, redo the album artwork. I lost a couple people right now, but there's some people watching going,
You lost me.
I didn't know you could do that.
You change the files and add the tracks?
Yeah.
I want to compliment.
All of this lives on an iPod.
Off the grid, baby. You can't take that away from me, Apple.
Like a straight up green iPod.
That's mine. You can't license it away from me. Robert gets it. But compliment to go back to the show.
Apple Music isn't going to go in and go, that's not the real album. Sweep.
That's mine.
Exactly. So I've been waiting for that official release because I love on Spotify the official Invincible playlist with all of the songs. now that the soundtrack is out, I'm going to go and purchase each one of those songs individually. The soundtrack for seasons 1, 2, and 3 have been a banger, and season 3 especially, you talked about this, a little bit fewer needle drops.
Yeah.
A little bit more John Paisano's score to really bring in those emotional moments. But some of the songs included the Billie Eilish song. Like some of the songs have been so great. Bangers. So now I'm going to buy those, send that money to those artists, put it on my iPod, listen to it. It's mine. Off the grid, I'll finish Invincible.
It's also the only way Hector listens to modern music. If not, it's all movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's all movie soundtracks.
If it's through a movie or TV show, I'm like, oh, have you guys heard this new band, Run the Jewels? They're pretty good.
Gorillas? Have you heard of Gorillas before? I don't know.
Apparently, Linkin Park is a classic rock band.
The Strokes?
Yeah. Oh. Like, guys, I saw the new trailer for the new Thunderbolts movie. Pretty good song in there. I don't know if you guys have heard. We're in this together. Like, that's a pretty good song.
Madonna?
Yeah, pretty good. That's the only way I find music. So yes, if you must know. Charts.
Such a dork.
Yeah, man. That's right.
That's why we love him, though.
That's right.
why we love him.
I'm your target audience. I love it. Guys, I think we've gone a little bit over. Should we go ahead and call it? Do we want to try to do anything else?
Wait,
rapid fire? Well, we got Robert right here.
Add a few of the,
ask
of the
about his
last
favorite
questions.
franchise.
Yeah.
Right here.
So we got to ask about at least your
Yes.
favorite franchises. Like, what favorite franchises are you into right now, or do you wish you could be part of, or
Franchise.
it could be like Nintendo, it could be Pokemon, it could be Dragon Ball, it could be the concept of PlayStation, as like anything that you like as a franchise.
You know how Letterboxd asks 4 favorite films? We like to go nerdier and go, well, what's your 4 favorite IP of all time? Like, what are your
Ninja
top?
Turtles?
I mean,
They're the ones you're writing.
Yeah.
No, it's like Transformers.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, I'm buying unboxed Transformers on eBay like it's going out of style.
Who's your favorite Transformer character?
Hot Rod.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a Transformers the movie guy.
Okay.
I love season 1, season 2, but season 3
That trauma
and
explains
the
a
6
lot.
episodes of season 4. No, I mean it's literally everything that I've built my career on is I think movie came out in 86, so I was 8 years old in the theater watching the beloved Optimus Prime that I'd fallen in love with over the course of 2 seasons
and
of
now
television.
he dies. Yeah.
Die brutally
Yeah.
in like the most emotional, sad scene I had ever experienced. And I left the theater changed. And like, that's the feeling that I look for in all media that I consume. And it's the feeling that I try to achieve in all the work that I do.
And just real quick, what the team does with Optimus Prime in specifically the sort of volume 2 batch of issues for the Transformers series and the Matrix of Leadership.
Oh yeah.
There's some emotional shit in there that like, I was like, whoa, I did not expect this. And it's beautiful. It's really
Daniel
great.
Warren Johnson is one of the best artists working in comics, but his level of emotion that he is able to achieve in
Murder
his storytelling.
Do a power bomb.
He is high watermark, one of the best writers working today. And his art is so good, I feel like people don't recognize it as often as they should.
The writing.
But
so we got
great stuff.
Transformers is one.
Transformers. I love a Star Wars.
Okay.
I love a Star Wars.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna group G.I. Joe and Transformers together so that I'm not cheating.
That works.
Yep.
Let's see here. Franchises.
Yeah.
Franchises.
I mean, we got.
I will play a Mario game. I will clear a schedule. When Super Mario Wonder came out, I was like, I gotta get some work done. This game's coming out in 2 weeks. I gotta be able to
punch it out.
And I played every corner. You get like, what do you get, the 5 stars or whatever?
Yeah,
when you've done every single thing in the game. I did every single thing.
Your collaborators are like, Robert, you hit all your deadlines whenever there's a new Mario game coming out. This is great.
What's going on here?
I say I try to.
Yeah, okay.
I try to.
That's awesome.
And then I fall further behind as I am playing Mario.
And then
Mario Wonder, it's great. Release some new levels, Nintendo. Like, come on.
There you go.
And I saw a rumor online that there might be a Mario Galaxy 3, and I hope it's true. I hope that's what they do for Switch 2.
Yeah.
It's probably not. It's probably just one of those internet things that's going to make me sad. But man, those Mario Galaxy games.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, so that's your shit right there. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, that was definitely the best Mario stuff for me.
Interesting.
I crapped on Sunshine one time publicly, and people have been mad at me ever since.
It's not
because
an
I went
uncommon-
backwards.
yeah.
I never had a GameCube, so I went. I loved Mario Galaxy so much, I went back to Sunshine, and I was like, these mechanics are clunky, garbage. And then I said it one time, and it's not. It's a great game.
Well, that
all
control
Mario
is
games
also
are
really
great.
weird.
Yeah, it's just it's my fault. It's all me. It's my fault. Sorry. Anyone who's still mad at me for my remarks against Mario Sunshine, I take it back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Good.
You can like me again. We can be friends. We both love Mario. Can't we be friends? Why are you doing this to me? Come on, please. I'm in front of you right now. I'm retracting my remarks. I don't know why you can't. Please, come on. I understand. Anyway, so do I have a fourth?
You got a fourth.
Yeah,
I got one more. I got one more. I'm going to watch this later, and I'm going to be
Trek,
like, I do love Planet of the Apes.
Marvel, DC.
It's going to have to be Star Trek. It's going to have to be Star Trek.
Wow.
Because Deep Space Nine is the best Star Trek show.
Yep.
I was working on the early days of Invincible and Walking Dead, and trying to get stuff done, and I would sit down for lunch every day at noon, and I would have 3 to 7 hot dogs, and I would watch an episode of Deep Space Nine. And that was like my lunch break, was just sitting on the couch. And
look at that. And now Optimus Prime is in Invincible playing the head Vulturemite. We've got Worf is in Invincible. Isn't that amazing?
I mean, the casting on Invincible is definitely just a checklist of I would like to meet. And I hit the Dominion War, and it ends with like, to be continued. And I'm like, well, I'm not getting any work done today. I'm going to watch 2 episodes and then get to the end of that episode, to be continued. Like one of the greatest things I've ever seen happen in a TV show, where you have 5 episodes in a row that end with to be continued. And you're like, I didn't expect this. Just epic.
I need more hot dogs.
Absolutely epic.
We need to make a Costco run. Yeah.
But yeah, Next Generation to Deep Space Nine to Voyager to the Next Generation movies. Like, that's my sweet spot. But I love them J.J. Abrams movies.
There you go.
Okay.
That was
Great
my
stuff.
entry. Yeah.
We're
J.J. Abrams casting, second to none.
Yeah.
In everything he does. But the casting of that movie, so
R.I.P.
good.
Anton Yelchin.
I know, yeah.
Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, like Carl Urban as Leonard McCoy.
Every time Quinto would come in for a record session on Invincible season 1, not so much these days, but I'd be like, when's the next one coming out? And sometimes he'd be like, yeah, we're getting close. And sometimes he'd be like, I don't know, we'll see. So I don't know what was going on, but I would just grill him.
I was sold on those movies the minute Beastie Boys came on. I'm a huge hip hop fan, and just like
I discovered Beastie Boys through that movie.
I'm telling you.
Jesus Christ, Hector.
I'm kidding. But honestly, it's on my iPod. You better believe I got
Producer Mark just passed out over there.
Why are they yelling?
Bestie Boys? I'll try them out. Hey,
Are they really the bestie?
Yeah, they're known to let the beat drop pretty good. I like them.
Yeah.
No, but and don't think that we didn't clock that you had robots saying fascinating through Zachary Quinto.
Oh, yeah.
That's just pure Spock joy right there that he did that in Invincible.
You got to
You gotta do it when you can.
It's a robot.
Come on.
Did he roll his eyes after he read that, or was he like, good, okay, good. I'm good at this word.
He let it slip by.
Okay.
He didn't look at you like Robert.
Yeah.
No.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, yeah, it also reminds me too of a moment early in the Invincible comics where we meet Alan the alien. He saves a crew of space explorers that are basically the next generation crew.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he's like, these guys are amateurs. Like, they don't know how to do space travel. That's great. Great moment.
They're nonviolent.
You had your little Data, your little Troy, your little Picard.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, I think that was great. Any other final questions we've got?
Might show up in season 4.
You know what?
I didn't catch that. What?
What?
Run it back.
That's amazing.
Rewind that back.
Let's just leave it there.
Because they pop back up in the comic at one point, which was great.
Who knows?
One thing that you touched on.
Go.
Anime. Are you into anime? Do you watch anime?
So I was into anime later in my high school years.
Okay.
I watched Ninja Scroll. I watched Wicked City, Vampire Hunter D, Wings of Oniamis. Macross Plus.
Wow.
Big into that kind of. If it was on VHS and it was from that manga company, I'm there.
But that was in the days where it was really hard to get anime, like a physical copy of it. Because I remember paying like $90.
Suncoast Video in the Fayette Mall in Lexington, Kentucky had them, and that is where that's where I would get them.
Suncoast store. Damn, I miss those.
But yeah, and I would just buy stuff blind and then just go home and sometimes be like, don't like it.
And then
all
your
those
mom
I
would
liked,
walk
but
in.
there's other stuff I forgot. That
Then your mom would walk in when there's like boobs on the screen.
That was the best.
Yeah.
Like, I think I might watch Ninja Scroll tonight.
Yeah. Where's mom?
Mom, I'm not dressed. You like knew exactly. Okay, the snake part's coming up.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
Yeah.
And then you get all nervous.
Mute.
Yo, the first time I saw Street Fighter 2, the movie, the anime movie.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Chun-Li. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, not the kind of thing that happens in America.
You're like, oh, Street Fighter, cool. This is gonna be cool. Shower scene. What the fuck?
What the
This
heck?
is crazy.
8 minutes long? What?
I guess. Okay, man.
Yep.
This is great. Yeah, 8 minutes long. They were cooking up something special over there when they were animating that. All right.
Did you watch it this morning?
I know.
It's like, we know what you want.
Yeah.
Like, we're
Not messing around.
What are we here for, Robert?
You think you want to street? You think you want to fight in the street? This is what you want. Last couple questions because you brought up some of your favorite franchises, and I'm so curious. You know, you mentioned your sweet spot of Star Trek. If you could, who is your favorite Star Trek character? And then give us your favorite Star Wars character. I know Worf is up there for you. Are you a Data guy? Are you a Picard guy?
I mean,
Or are you like Quark?
I'm definitely a Worf guy, and I loved Worf in Deep Space Nine.
Amazing.
The way that his character carried over, and they did so much extra stuff with him was
These
super
guys are making
awesome.
fun of me because they have not seen any Trek.
No, it's because you're finishing each other's sandwiches.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You two live together?
It's married.
Yeah, for sure. To Jadzia Dax, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like a married couple.
So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I love Data. I actually got to work with Brent Spiner on Outcast.
Nice.
Oh, amazing. That's right.
He played a character named Sydney. I recall. I can still remember things. And it was
You were
amazing.
haranguing him with Star Trek questions, I'm sure.
I will tell this story.
Okay, go ahead.
So Paul Azaceta and Betty Breitweiser, the artist and colorist on Outcast, came to set, and they're visiting set. Yep. And we're hanging out. You know, they're filming, they're not filming, you know, whatever. Sometimes sets are exciting, sometimes they're boring. Sure. And there's like some downtime, and Brent's over there, and you know, I've been on set a bunch, and I've met him and talked to him and stuff, but we've never talked about Star Trek. Whoa. And he just starts. I guess Paul said something or Betty said something, and he just starts talking about Star Trek. And he, for about an hour and a half, tells stories about, you know, getting made up in the morning and then waiting on set all day and the makeup, and then them going, well, Brent, we didn't get to you today.
Oh my God.
And like going home and different things that happen on different episodes and things like that. And we're just for like an hour and a half, like,
Special, man.
oh God, Brent Spiner's telling us about Data. It's so amazing. And at a certain point, he just stops and he goes, oh my God. I'm so sorry. I must be boring you guys to tears talking about Star Trek. I really just kind of ran off his mouth there for a while. And I went, Brent,
Yeah.
you can talk to me about Star Trek any day you want. All I've ever wanted to do since I met you is talk to you about Star Trek, and I have never done it. So if you ever want to talk about Star Trek, please do not hesitate.
love of God.
And he goes, Robert, if you ever have anything to ask me about Star Trek,
Wow.
please don't hesitate. I just won't respect you.
Or respond.
That sounds exactly like Brent Spiner. That's amazing.
He is so
funny.
funny.
Yeah,
He's the
that's
best.
hilarious.
He's the best.
He's great.
And I never asked him about Star Trek again.
Good, which means he respects you.
Not sure.
Still debatable.
Last two questions. If you could pick a favorite Star Wars character, sort of what's the thing that
Luke
really
Skywalker.
Luke.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Luke Skywalker guy. I'm not a Han
Classic.
Solo guy. I love Han Solo. Love
Yeah.
everybody, but Luke Skywalker is it for me.
Okay.
I was a Han Solo guy, and then this Diego Luna, this hunky Diego
Oh
Luna
my
show.
God,
yeah,
Andor
yeah.
is the
Andor.
greatest.
Yep.
It's the greatest.
good.
I have only watched the first episode of season 2 because I'm savoring it.
Good,
Okay,
savor it.
okay.
I'm like Hector Navarro, like holding the last issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andor is. If you have not watched the Andor show, believe the hype. Everything is great.
Yeah.
The first episode's good. The second episode's better. And it does that for the entire run of the first season to the point where you get to like episode 8, 9, you're like, how is this getting better?
Yeah.
What did
What
I
is
just
this?
watch?
What is
And
this
Andy
show?
Serkis shows up, and you're like, this is now even better than
Oh my
it was.
God.
Like,
The prison arc
yeah,
is
dude. It's
just like,
I just
insane.
rewatched it last night. I just rewatched it last night.
Yeah.
One way
I've
out.
been wanting to find the time to rewatch
God.
it. It's been
We
crazy.
have seen all of it at this point.
Yeah, we cheat
got the
coded
You've
a
seen
little.
all of season
We've seen
2?
all of it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We can talk after if you
very
want some,
good.
buddy. We don't want to hit you with
Oh,
any
okay.
spoilers.
we have
Yeah.
spoiled everything.
I don't want anything spoiled.
Okay, good. Then we won't talk about it.
We spoiled everything for producer Mark with various like TV shows, movies, things we talk about here.
Thunderbolts,
The
everything.
the one thing Mark said, he goes, "Do not spoil Andor season 2 because
Yeah.
we've seen it all, so we will not." So that's great.
great.
But yeah, Luke Skywalker. Last one for you. We like to ask this to everybody. Who do you think is an underrated hero character? A fictional character from anything, from when you grew up, something you saw recently, a movie, a TV show, a book, a comic, something.
Sometimes I feel like people don't talk about Steven Universe enough.
Interesting.
I love that cartoon.
Okay.
Love that cartoon. Steven Universe, great show.
Beautiful show.
You know, ends amazingly. Like every element of that show is so good.
Your hero is Steven.
Steven's great. I think Steven is like super awesome, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, his story is fantastic, and
the messages and the
it's just an absolutely great show. I ended up watching it up with my kids because they were around the right age when that show was coming out, and that was always fun because you have an excuse to watch the show. You're not, not that you need an excuse to watch good cartoons, but it is nice to be like, I'm watching it with my kids. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
A great answer.
That's rad. That's actually very unexpected because I don't think a lot of people really, unless you're a diehard fan of Steven Universe, not a lot of people really kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think a lot of people watch it casually. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, it's not a show that you just throw on in the background because there's
It's got
so much
such
to
great continuity and lore.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
everything about the backstory to the the different gems and things. And when it gets all cosmic towards the end, it's like, what? Really good.
That's awesome, man.
How do you find the time to watch and do all these things? You seem like you're so insanely busy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Sleep like 1 hour a night.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't do anything else. Like my life is working and then watching screens. It's why I'm overweight. But I don't know. I like 7 steps today.
Robert.
7.
How did I get negative steps
How did I
today?
do 7 steps?
That's so funny.
Hold on a second. Oh my God! I haven't
didn't
left
even
the
poop
couch
today. What the heck?
That's
Lordy,
so funny.
Lordy. But
You did come to the studio today in person, and you were like, "This is the most I've moved in days."
yeah.
So thank you. You're welcome.
But no, I've done everything over Zoom since the pandemic for the most part. It's nice for people to see my giant pumpkin head from different angles. You do Zoom interviews and it's all
4K.
straight on.
The first responsive guy, like, he'll do it virtually. And I'm imagining he's like, you know what? I got 7 steps. I need about 10 more.
about 10
I
more.
gotta leave the house.
That's amazing.
I walk sometimes. I'm exaggerating.
That's so funny.
Oh,
well,
God
Robert, we
damn.
cannot thank you enough. We are such fans of the Invincible show and the Energon Universe and the upcoming books you've got. We will.
Let me just tally up this.
There we go. We will be reaching out.
I've only got $4 on me.
That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I got a meter outside.
But we would love to have you back after. This is next year is when season 4 is coming.
That's the plan,
And it hasn't been confirmed or announced officially, but I'm hoping that the team is also potentially working on a future season and other specials and all that other shit. But yeah, man, we're very, very excited. And anytime you want to come back and
you want to come shoot the shit, hang out.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
just
here.
come by and watch Goofy movie. You're more than welcome to.
We will watch
We're
Goofy
gonna,
movie
we're
with
gonna
you.
live watch the Goofy movie here next week. So make sure you tune in.
all right, go ahead and wrap us out, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys check out all the comics. If you have not read any of Invincible, Jesus Christ, how much more endorsement do you need here? Go watch it. Go read it. Check out everything else that Robert's working on. Check out everything else that we are watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Heroes Reforged is gonna react. Heroes Reforged is gonna review. Heroes Reforged is gonna discuss. That's why we are watching